While browsing the Fallout forums on the internet, I came across a rather obscure mod known as Ghoul Day. I thought it would turn my Fallout 3 game into some kind of ghoul apocalypse, with towns like Megaton and Rivet City turned into safe havens from the hordes. This is gonna be kick-ass, I thought to myself. I downloaded and installed it, but decided to get something to eat before I started the game up. I grabbed a pudding cup from the fridge and a spoon before returning to my computer. The minute I saw the screen, I yelped and fell back in surprise. The game had started itself, which turned the oddness factor up on its own. But the start menu, it was different pictures of ghouls. Karen, Gob, Willow, the drunken ghoul Patchwork, even Jason Bright from Fallout New Vegas. What was he doing on a Fallout 3 game menu? I had no idea. Brushing it off as an effect of the mod, I continued to load my latest save. I heard Gob's voice say, "Not so fast, smooth skin," before the screen went black. It stayed that way for about a minute. No load screen or anything before the game started. My character was on her side, laying on the ground. My heads-up display wasn't showing up. It was probably a scripted scene. One of those moments where you have no control of the character, kind of like a cinematic scene from most other video games. The camera left first person and hand around her. My character slowly sat up. She was in a Brahmin skin outfit, like the ones people who sit out settlements begging for purified water wear. That wasn't right. My character wore Brotherhood Outcast armor. She didn't even have a weapon, which, again, wasn't right. When I'd saved, she'd been equipped with a tri-beam laser rifle, fully repaired. She was in an empty room. I'd saved her in her Megaton home. What the hell did that mod do? The door made its opening noise, and Karen walked in. "I hope you're happy, human. This is your fault." And the minute that last word left his lips, he suddenly vanished. I was blinking in surprise by now. This mod was kinda weirding me out. I regained control of my character, and I walked her to the door. I emerged into the town of Megaton, and from where I was, I assumed I'd been in Mr. Burke's house. Okay, not that far from my original save point, but still not right. Father Cromwell was directly ahead of me, preaching to the atom bomb in the center of town. Even from here, I could tell something was off with him. I approached him, and the closer I got, the more it became apparent something was wrong. His skin texture was pixelated. I hit the button to talk with him, and when he turned to me, the pixelation corrected itself and I recoiled. He was ghoulified. What the hell? Well, the mod had been titled Ghoul Day. I should have expected this. He didn't say anything about the Prophet of Adam or any of that other bullshit. He merely said, "Why have you brought this curse on us?" I was presented with two dialogue choices, either to say, "What do you mean?" or "What the hell is going on?" I went with, "What the hell?" He replied with, "This is your doing. Do not pretend you do not understand," and with that his head exploded. I recoiled from my computer, shuddering. Yeesh! After a moment, I began to move my character around Megaton. Everyone I passed, even Jericho, the asshole merc, was a ghoul. I went to my house, and the door wouldn't respond. Great! Locked out of my own home, I said aloud, to no one in particular. I decided that with all the bullshit going down at the moment, that my character was going to need a drink. Or two. So I headed up to Moriarty's saloon, and the minute I was inside, I regretted walking in. Moriarty's body, missing its arms and legs, was hanging from the ceiling. I made my character look at the floor before pausing the game and sliding my chair back. That had literally made my stomach churn. What the hell was this mod? Why was it doing this? And who the fuck would make this? I was rubbing my face when I heard Gob's voice say, "It's you. Didn't think you'd have the nerve to show your face after what you did." I looked up. The camera had focused on Gob, but I'd paused the game. It gave me no dialogue options, so I was forced to listen to Gob. He continued on, repeating what the others had said. He ended with, "You'll know," before turning and walking away. Sobbing could be heard from the second floor. I walked, avoiding the pool of blood under Moriarty's body, and headed up the stairs. I opened the door to Nova's room. She was crying, and of course, ghoulified. Serves her right. She'd sleep with anything that moved unless it was a ghoul. She turned to look at me. "You fucker! You did this to me!" She moved much too fluidly for the mechanics of the game as she leapt off the bed and pinned my character to the ground. Her face was in full view of the screen and it was making me cringe. Ugh. I hit the escape button to pause it. No response. She was still screaming at me. She then pulled a pistol. One that looked like Benny's gun in New Vegas. Again, weird. She pointed it at my face, saying she'd kill me. Then she broke down again after a minute, before turning the gun on herself and pulling the trigger. I pushed away from the computer. "What the fuck?" I muttered. What the hell had I just witnessed? I couldn't do this anymore. No, 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 I continuously muttered to myself. This mod was fucked up. I hit the power button to shut my computer off. It wouldn't work. The game was still playing. What? How? Gob's face appeared on the screen. "And where do you think you're going?" I whimpered. I'd played horror games, but this was different. Way different. I sighed and kept going. I left Nova's room and headed back down the stairs. Lucy West was staring at me. It wouldn't let me talk to her, though. That's when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned to see Karen following me. I tried to talk to him, but it did nothing. I shook my head and guided my character out of the saloon. The game didn't stop there with the odd occurrences. Of course not. Why would it? Everyone I passed would stop and point at me with rotting fingers and say, "The bringer of corruption." What the fuck did that even mean? I went up to Moira's store to get something to defend myself once I left town. Please, oh please, let me still have all those caps I'd worked so hard for. The front of the store was covered in what I guess was blood, but dismissed it and entered the building. I sort of wish I hadn't, because what happened next was extremely unnerving. The mercenary that had guarded Moira's store, now ghoulified, was lying in separate pieces on the workbench, with Moira bent over them holding a combat knife. I immediately thought to myself, "Oh, hell nah," and turned to leave. The door clicked, unresponsive. It wouldn't let me leave. Oh my," muttered Moira from behind me, her voice cracked and scratchy. "Who is that? A new toy for me? Oh boy, this is fun." Dreading what she could possibly mean, I turned around. She was facing me with the most unsettling grin on her face. How she was able to grin, I'll never fucking know. But I do know that it fucking scared me. She began to slowly approach me. "I broke my last toy. He was lots of fun to play with, though. Will you be fun to play with?" Fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. I desperately hit several buttons, and suddenly my fists went up, so I could fight. Good. I swung my fist, and Moira's head went flying off her shoulders. Well, that was new. I tried to pick up the knife, and it vanished, and suddenly my character's hands reset themselves as she drew the knife. That's when I heard a cough. I turned my character around. Karen was still there, and so was Lucy. Okay. Weird. I made to push past them for the door, knife raised in case one of them tried something. Oh god, this was creepier than the Dunwich building. They made no move to stop me, and I managed to get outside the shop. Outside, Nathan, the Enclave supporting old man, was walking by, but was humming the stereotypical funeral march instead of what he usually hummed. I shook it off. No need to add to the list of shit scaring me. I immediately made for Megaton's exit. Once I was outside, I turned around. Karen and Lucy were still following me. Whatever. It was happening. Had to accept it. I made my way away from the town, passing the rotting corpse. Wait. Rotting? It was the thirsty vagrant Mickey. Dead. And his corpse was actually rotting. Okay. New. Disgusting. Not staying for this. I headed off to Springvale. It was quiet, as usual, but there was smoke coming from the direction of... Oh no. Oh please no. Not there till a massive pillar of smoke was billowing from the direction of Vault 101. My former home was in flames. Even though it was just a game, I needed to know what was happening.